Well, hello, YouTube. It's been a little while since my last video, and the reason for that is, well, there's like nothing out to talk about. Screen 4 looks rather bland. It looks like I should just rewatch Scream. And there's really nothing much else out. I might go see The Conspirator, I don't know, but that's not why you're here. Because there is something out here which has caught my eye, and that is Mortal Kombat Legacy, the 10-episode web series that you can find here on YouTube and several other sites, which is supposed to show a more realistic version of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, let that sink in. And, well, of course, most of you probably out there know this is based on that trailer, which isn't a fan trailer. A lot of people call it a fan trailer. A trailer that was released about a year ago, where they had major Hollywood actors playing parts. It was kind of a setup for what they were hoping to be was a new movie lit, which is why I said it wasn't a fan trailer. It was put together by professional directors and crew and all that because they were hoping to sell it to the studios to get it greenlit. The trailer itself didn't seem to impress the studios, but what impressed the studios was the fan reaction to it, the fact that the web is lit up when it was released. And with a new Mortal Kombat game coming out, they didn't want to hawk the money to at least to promote a full, $50 million movie, but as a promotion, at least they basically, I think they've went about it the right way, is they were at the very least able to secure it as basically as a marketing ploy. But it looks like the directors decided to really just go ahead and do their own thing anyway, for the upcoming Mortal Kombat release later this month, which I will hopefully get. So far it seems to be going good. Now I have some reservations, but I will hold off on just declaring the entire series crap or not until we see at least a couple more episodes, and I'll try to give my review on each episode. Now the episodes are only 12. At least this first one was only 12 minutes long. So if you're watching this to see whether you should watch it or not, go watch the first episode. Seriously, pause my video, go watch it, and then come back. Because with it only being 12 minutes long, there's no reason for you to have to watch my entire thing before whether you agree or should see it. Go watch it. It's short enough. It's not going to take that much time out of your day. Hell, you can go on a 15-minute break and still finish watching the thing, and still have a couple minutes to spare. So, now that you've all seen the video, right? I like that. I like that they brought the actors from the original trailer. Yes, normally the actors that are in the trailer are in the movie or series, but circumstances here. I like that they brought Michael J. White here, good old Spawn as Jax, who seems to be playing a lot bigger role than he does in the actual normal plot of the Mortal Kombat games. He's always seemed more of a side character, but a lot of people like Jax. And of course, we have good old 7 of 9 Jerry Ryan as Sonya Blade. And of course, Hilo was Stryker from Battlestar Galactica. I don't care what his actor's real name is, he's Hilo. He banged a Cylon chick. Stryker, who was basically playing Stryker. I am the more uptight cop who can still kick ass, but he's uptight and annoying. Even in the animated TV series, he can get uptight and annoying. Oh, poor Stryker. And, of course, more importantly, they introduced our first major villain, Kano, played by, and I have his IMDb here, Darren Shalhalvi? I mispronounced that name. Yes, I know. Thank you. I messed up his name. He's relatively unknown. He apparently is a martial artist who's appeared as at least a stuntman in several films, including Watchmen and 300. He was basically one of the Persians Leonidas slaughtered, and one of the SWAT team members that Rorschach kicked his ass. So, with that said, he did an okay performance. He's got the Austrian accent, obviously going back to the first film. It's ironic how that happened. Now, speaking of that, I should probably talk about, I was a big fan of the first film. I still like the first film. It is surprisingly one of the most accurate adaptations of a video game to a film. They kept a huge chunk of the mythos from Mortal Kombat in that first one. And it was a really well done, and especially since it was so early. And that probably helps that Mortal Kombat, out of most games at that time, had much more backstory than, let's say, Super Mario Brothers. At least at that time. The second one, we don't talk about the second one, okay? As far as I'm concerned, this is the second one. What second movie that was released in 1997? I think you are mistaken, sir. That never happened. All kidding aside, or am I? Yeah. So I really like that first movie. I'm a little hesitant on this one because they are, at least at first, it looks like they're taking away all the science fiction. Well, not science fiction, obviously. The mysticism, the magic. They kind of go into alternate worlds, because that's, to me, what set Mortal Kombat apart from everything else. It had a very original universe. It had a very original setting where it was this Asian fantasy world, but it was like a dark Asian fantasy world of some type, as envisioned by kind of Westerners, but not. It was different. That's the best way I can put it. It was different. It was very different. But that's what made it different. That's what made it distinct. That's what gave it its flavor. So I'm a little hesitant they're taking away. Now, I had heard that they haven't eliminated it entirely, and that we are going to be starting to see more of this. And if that's the case, I'm alright with that. Because from a narrative point of view, I mean, in this episode, it looked more like a cop drama. But if we even recall back to the first Mortal Kombat game, they pretty much started it the same way, right? Sonya and Jax are hunting Kano, and they get into a bit of a little fight trying to chase him. And that's how you would want to do this type of series, right? You want to introduce, this is plain basic good narrative. If you're going to throw in fantastical elements, you kind of establish the ground the characters first in the real world, and then bring them into the crazy stuff. Show your hyper real stuff, and then bring in the magic later on. You wouldn't start that way. It does make a lot of narrative sense that we didn't see anything in this first episode. And they did do a lot of major hints at upcoming stuff, or maybe not even if it's going to be in this series, but at least stuff that'll be showing up later with the whole, what Kano is smuggling, if you guys missed it, was like cybernetic warrior systems. That's Cyrax and Sector right there. And, more importantly, his little eye thing. At some point, I guarantee you in the next episode, Kano's eye is going to get all fucked up. And they're going to insert his, laser eye thing. So, like I said, it was an opening episode. That's why if you hear me trying to hard to articulate stuff here, it's because every time I want to say something, it's like, ooh, but I know it's an opening episode. And I don't want to, let's say, over-speculate on stuff that I know is going to be revealed next week. Especially since we don't have a good tempo of how the plot's going to turn. Is this going to be a twisty-turny plot, or is this going to be a very traditional, we can kind of see where everything's going to go, and it's going to turn out that way? I guess I should talk about the effects. The effects, I think, were good for what this is. This is a web series on the web. It is not a television series, and it's not a major motion picture. So I'm not going to hold it up to those standards. And even despite all that stuff I just said, its effects were still better than Mortal Kombat 2. Wait a minute, Mortal Kombat 2 never happened. Check that off. This is the second Mortal Kombat movie. We don't talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Alright. Enough with the kidding aside. So I'm rather interested in how we're going to see this. Rather interested in how we're going to bring in the rest of the players. If the trailer still stands, is the trailer part of this continuity, or is the trailer literally a separate that they use to pitch us? Should we assume Johnny Cage is dead and Baraka cut off his head or whatever, or is it going to be different? Is Johnny Cage going to still be walking around? Are we going to see Scorpion imprisoned, or are they gonna turn Scorpion around? We haven't seen Scorpion who Scorpion was kind of implied to be the main character, which makes a lot of sense because he really is the most popular character in the games, and over the course of time, they've kind of showed that, where they've kind of pushed Liu Kang back a bit, and normally you see Scorpion as like on the covers. Back in the day, it was all Liu Kang, but still more people like Scorpion. He was always kind of neutral too. So, in the last couple of games, Deception and so on, they tried to bring Scorpion more into focus. So I was really hoping that Scorpion was going to be the main character. Maybe he still will be. Maybe we're going to see Scorpion show up in the next episode. I'm hoping, because he's supposed to be the main, or he, at least even on the IMDb page, he's like up there. But then again, I'm not sure how these were put together. IMDb basically is a glorified Wikipedia, so we can't get too analytical over it. Other than that, yeah, I liked it. I do have reserves for you Mortal Kombat fans that are like, oh my god, I hate it. They took away all the things that made Mortal Kombat unique. The magic, the dimensions, the different fantasy races like the Tarkana and all, and the centaurs and all that stuff. You know what? We might still see that. It is a first episode. I know I said that already, but relax. Give it like an episode or two more. If we don't, I will join you in chorus, unless this turns out to be the most incredible web series ever made. We will see. Like I said, I will come out with a new episode 2 review after I see the next episode next week. Until then, signing off YouTube.